Thank you. In my opening statement, I talked about the debate that we had over the greenhouse gas emissions performance measure and targets that we had rejected it here in the Congress, and you are pursuing a measure that would achieve this through rulemaking. What is your response to what I said in my opening statement, and what authority do you have to be moving in this direction? Do you believe you have?
Thank you, Ranking Member Capito. And before I address that question, I would also like to echo your comments about Lauren. We will miss her grace and professional knowledge. So I would say my reaction to your comments is I hear you, and I heard you during my confirmation hearing about your concerns about the GHG piece. From the authority perspective, obviously we have lawyers at Federal Highways who will examine that, lawyers at US DOT. I believe MAP 21 did provide authority to measure the performance of the transportation system. And I think we are in an open rulemaking right now. We've received, I think, 40,000 comments from folks, and before we move forward in that rulemaking, we would want to understand all of those public comments.
Okay, so I probably need a little more clarity on what authority but we'll follow back up with you on that. Let's go to the PHMSA-Delphi discrepancy that is definitely in the weeds, but very impactful for many states, including the smaller states. We had asked about this, how are you going to address this, and the quote that came back was, once the task force has completed its review, US DOT and FHWA will determine the type of adjustment required and the applicable authority. Seems like we need the authority before we can make the decision. Where are you on this issue, and where's the task force work?
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Ranking Member. Specifically on the PHMSA-Delphi issue, yeah, as soon as I became aware that we have been in close contact with states. We did establish a task force. I think they are diligently working through all of the potential impacts here. I think when you have an issue of a $3.5 billion discrepancy, we want to make sure that we have looked at every angle here. And so I am hopeful that we'll be able to provide you a little bit more detail soon. But just my update here would be that we are working towards getting a resolution as quickly as we can.
Okay, so I mean, would that be end of summer or end of the year, or?
I would say as quickly as possible. Definitely this year. It's some of this involves other coordination, and so I just want to. Okay. But we will continue to be in close contact.
Okay. Okay. It looks like I'm over my time by 3 minutes, but it doesn't. I don't feel like I've been that long, so I'm going to ask one more question.
Feels long to me, but that's okay.
Well, okay, we'll switch. That's pretty good. In January, NTSB Chair Homendy raised concerns about the safety impacts of electric vehicles on our roadways. I mean, in looking into this, the realization that these vehicles weigh a heck of a lot more than gasoline vehicles do. And so we reached out to FHWA to ask how you're planning to look at this from a future safety of our roadways. I'm sure it's going to have impacts on not just bridge safety, guardrails, and also impacts. Our response from them was, from you, was while FHWA doesn't currently have any research planned on how the weight and weight distribution of EVs may impact guardrails, bridge safety, and the longevity of the highway, safety is #1 priority. We know that safety is #1. Why does the agency not have any planned research in this area as we're being pushed in this area to move towards the EVs?
Thank you, Ranking Member, for that question. I will double check where we are in terms of research. I mean, size and weight is something that we take a look at, particularly with regard to bridges, and the performance of guardrail is obviously something that we would want to understand the impacts. Just as a personal example, I have a minivan that has an electric battery in it, and it I would want to, again, verify, but I feel like it's in the same weight range. But particularly as freight and some of these Class 8 haulers become electrified, that is something. So what I will do is I'll be happy to come back for you and get you some specifics around our research.
Thank you. I mean, this issue is raised by our state DOT, that they're concerned about what kind of impacts this could have on highway safety. So we'll follow up with that. Thank you.